Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Arabic Khatawaat. In this video, we're going to learn how to conjugate irregular verbs. Irregular verbs in Arabic are called أفعال معتلة. The examples we have selected for today share three things in common. All of them are a three-letter verb, like you could look at قال, to say. It has قاف, ألف, and lam. Then نام, to sleep. And also it has noon, alif, and mim, and ja'a, to come, and it has jim, alif, and hamza. We call them hollow verbs because they do share the second part, which is alif in the middle. Looking at qala, it has long alif. And the unique part about alif is that it does change when you conjugate these irregular verbs in the present tense. So that's what we're going to look at today, and we have a set of other verbs that we will try to explore and match into these categories. So let's begin. The first verb we're going to look at is قال, to say. قال. Every time we're conjugating verbs in Arabic, we have to pay attention to how is the first person or the speaker is conjugated. In the speaker form, we always refer to both genders, whether we're saying feminine or masculine. Both of them will take the exact same verb conjugation. So in the example of the present tense, the verb conjugation of I would begin with an alif. So here we're looking at قال, and I will determine how this verb will change into a whole different shape. Looking at قال, I would say أقول, I say. The alif changed to become waaw, and then I'm doing أقول, أقول. All the verbs that have alif could either change to waaw or change to ya, or actually keep the alif as it is. So here we have waaw in this example. As I'm saying أنت, أنتِ, هو, هي, we're going to follow the exact same pattern of I, and this is one of the ways you could memorize verb conjugation. So قال, I would say أنت, you masculine, أنت تقول. So I could place all the verb conjugation here for أنتِ تئين, هو يا, and then هي ت, and then I could put the subject pronouns over here. So أنتِ, and this is how I would even write it on my notebooks. That way I remember which one is which and what tense am I conjugating. So this is هي. And now I would say أنت تقول, أنتِ تقولين, هو يقول, هي تقول. As you can see, all of them kept the exact same thing, which is alif became waaw in the present tense verb conjugation. There are many verbs that share the exact same pattern as قال, and the example I will refer to here is عاد, to return, and I could say عاد. As soon as I say أعود, I return, أعود. I know that the rest of the verb conjugation would follow the exact same pattern, meaning if I say you return, you female return, he returns, she returns, all of them will keep the waaw in the verb conjugation in the present tense. So here I'm going to write it one more time, and please look at how I'm changing. أعود. Here we have, how many did we use today? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the subject pronouns, I'll just write them again as أنا, I, أنت, you masculine, and I put M here for masculine, أنتِ, you feminine, هو, he, and هي, she. And I will be using عادة. أنا أعود. أنا أعود. أعود. أنت تعود. You return. أنتِ تعودين. You return, female. And هو يعود. هي تعود. As I write this, I can categorize this set of verbs as Alif changing to waaw. After I conjugate those verbs, I can go back to my chart and determine which ones rhyme with قال. So I'll write قال over here, and we used عادة. When I say rhyming, I mean that the alif changed to waaw in the present tense. So قال and عادة, I will go like قال, and then we have عادة to return, but we also have صام, and it rhymes with it, because once we say I fast or you fast in the present tense, it would be يصوم. He fasts. يصوم. Then I would check that off, and then خاف نام. خاف نام ينام. It's different rhyming. خاف يخاف. قام. And I would find that قام, to rise or to get up, it does actually rhyme with صام and قال and عاد, and I would change it in the present tense to saying يقوم. And then we could go again with the rest. So we have قاد, lead, drive, and then it does actually rhyme, and I would say قاد. I can keep going depending on how long my list is, but I would just categorize them by saying that these change the alif to I should say يقود, the alif to waaw. As you can see over here, all the alifs that you have in قال, عاد, صام, قام, قاد become waaw. In يصوم, يقود, يقول, يعود. Now we're going to look at the other category where we do not have the waaw, but actually we do have the ya, meaning that the alif changes to become ya. And again, the verb will also have alif because they're called hollow verbs. So let's look at these examples. The example that I'm going to use from my list over here is باع, to sell. So I would say باع, to sell, and I have alif in باع. Then I will follow the exact same pattern I did, is I will determine the speaker's conjugation in the present tense. That way I can see how this verb changes. And once I change it, it would be أنا أبيع, I sell. أبيع, I sell. As you can see, the alif over here became a ya in the second category. And then, like we said, you would go to أنت and أنتِ, هو, هي, verb conjugation in the present tense. All you have to do is determine the prefixes and suffixes. So like here it would be تائنا, هو يا, and هي تا, and this is just the present tense prefixes and suffixes. Then you place the verb as you have it in the speaker's form. That means it will continue to have ya. أنت تبيع, أنتِ تبيعين. I'll write it smaller. تبيعين, هو يبيع, هي تبيع. As we do that, we can visually determine how the verb changes to all subject pronouns, meaning they will all follow the I pattern. I do something, it's I sell it. So أنا أبيع, it has ya in the present tense conjugation. We have other examples in this list. I don't think I have متى يموت. No. I do not have another verb that rhymes with باع, but the example I have in mind is جاء. So like the example we've seen with باع, what we do is we place باع over here, and then we can think of another verb that shares the exact same pattern when you change it from alif to ya in the verb conjugation. So the verb I'm thinking about is جاء, to come. جاء is to come. All I have to do, like we did with the other verbs, is determine the I conjugation, which is أنا. We do place the present tense, and then we determine how does the verb change. In the example of جاء, I would say أجي. أجي. As you can see, the alif became ya. Then what we do is we place the hamza right on the line, because it cannot be placed on the ya in this example. So we would say أجيء. أجيء. I come. All the other verbs would have the exact same conjugation, meaning that the alif would change to ya. Here, let's look at a few examples on how we're going to conjugate جاء. One of the tools that I like to use is a verb conjugator. You can find many sites that would help you conjugate the verb by placing the infinitive form, which is جاء, جيم, ألف, and hamza. The present tense conjugation we're doing over here is المضارع. So then I would click on the verb and it would give me the speaking or how I would pronounce it. And then I can even copy this verb and place it on my digital note. So I have أنا أجيء, and then we have أنت تجيئين, أنت تجيء, هي تجيء, and هو يجيء. So now we have determined two categories where alif changes. In the first category, it does change to waaw. The second category, it changes to ya. Looking at these, I will have to place the examples that we studied. So I would say قال, and then we used عاد. Then we looked at باع, باع, sell, and then جاء. The third category, we do have a few examples over here, so I'm going to use these two as نام, to sleep, and خاف. So نام and خاف, both of them will have the alif stay as it is, no change. And let's look at how we can conjugate these. So we're going to use نام, and like we said, we have to determine the I, which is أنا. Then I would place the verb conjugation in the present tense, which is a. Then I'll write the verb as it is. أنام, I sleep. أنام, أنام. What happens is that we do see that the alif did not change, and this remains the same case for the rest of the subject pronouns. So if I'm doing أنت, you, أنت, I would place the verb conjugation in the present tense, ta, and I would say تنام. أنتِ, same thing. I would say ta, and then of course I have the ina, and I would say أنتِ, you female, تنامين, you sleep. Then we have هو, and we place the verb conjugation in the present tense. Then we place the verb as it is, تنام, تنام. And we do the same thing for هي. هي, we place the verb conjugation in the present tense, ta, and then we put the verb as it is. And of course, I'm just highlighting the alif that did not change in nama. The exact same thing will happen with khafa, to fear or to be scared of. Khafa, khafa. And I would say, أخاف, أنت تخاف, أنت تخافين, هو يخاف. So I'm going to keep this, and all I will do is just get rid of the verb conjugation I have for nama. That way you can see how you would make that transformation on your notes as you're writing down these verbs. So I would say أخاف, I am scared or I fear. So this is the verb خاف. And then I would say أنت تخاف, أنت تخافين. Then I would just change nama and place خاف. All of them share the exact same pattern, which is keeping the alif in all the subject pronouns. So that will be all for how we could conjugate hollow verbs, أفعال معتلة. And I'll just give you one last thing to remember, that there are 3 categories when we're looking at the verb conjugation. So here we have, of course, the alif in the middle, and we do have one letter at the beginning and then another letter at the end. Then what happens is that this alif could have 3 different transformations. The first one, it could become a waaw, then it could become ya, and it could remain as it is by keeping the alif in the rest of the verb conjugation. The examples we looked at are all conjugated in the present tense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please keep your comments coming and questions. That way we can include our answers in the upcoming videos. Assalamu alaikum, and enjoy the rest of your day. Ma salama.